So I'm inside of our solution again here, and now we're not going to actually make any changes in order to get this to work on the grid. So we already made it so that we're using this remote WebDriver, and we specified this URI, which is still correct because this is the URI of the hub. And we're going to choose desired capabilities Firefox so that we'll run Firefox. And remember, you can use different browsers, but you do have to set them up and configure them on each one of the clients. So you would have to set up Chrome or IE or whatever you wanted to use in that hub configuration. So in this case, we're just going to try to connect with Firefox, and we have those three up. So remember, if we look at our grid here, you can see we've got three clients here. And even though it shows all of these browsers, they're not necessarily all available. For example, on my Mac, I don't have IE available. I haven't installed it, but this is just the default. And remember, you can change that configuration if you want to in order to specify what browsers, how many are allowed, and where the drivers are located. So in this case, let's just go ahead and run this. And this is going to pick a random machine. And it actually picked our local machine. So you can see it has popped up Firefox and it's running our test here. So that was successful. But now let's do something to make sure that we get the Mac version. So what we can do here is we can change our desired capabilities. So instead of just doing desired capabilities Firefox, we're going to do a new desired capabilities. And here we're going to specify the browser, and then we're going to specify the platform. So we're going to say Firefox, and then for the version, we're not going to put anything, but for the platform, we're going to create a new platform, and we're going to do platform type Mac. So let's go ahead and run this now. And before we run this, I'm going to show you my VNC session here. So I'm connected to my Mac through VNC, and you can see that in this terminal window I have the Selenium server running in the node mode. So let's go ahead and run our test, and then I'm going to go ahead and look and see here, and you can see that this has already launched Firefox on my Mac here, and that's actually pretty neat. When you think about what's going on here, we have basically run our test on Windows, and that test connected to our server on Windows. That server was connected to that Mac here, and it was able to run our test. So that's definitely useful for executing tests on a different platform. If you think about it, we might not want to have to set up a whole Selenium and all of the same setup and actually try to execute the tests on a Mac if we're working in a Windows environment, but maybe we want to test on a Mac. So all you have to do to test on a Mac is basically just download that Selenium jar, make sure that it's configured correctly, and run the Selenium server in the node mode and connect to your hub, and then you can run your tests from Windows, but then have certain tests run on Mac.